Oh, I should put my seal books behind them, actually. Yeah, you're right.
Of course I might.
That's a good way to...
Don't say you're right to Emily.
Damn it. Damn it.
We want her headphones to be able to
this.
stay on her head. If it inflates anymore, it's not going to... Come on. Think about the show, Dala.
I'm sorry. I should have known better. Welcome to the JRPG Pursuit, your podcast for all things JRPGs, from the games we play to the games we collect and everything in between those two areas of sorts. My name is Abdallah.
I'm Emily.
I'm Brandon.
And today, we're going to get mid with you guys. But not really.
No, we're going to be fantastic. But
yeah, we'll be the
10
best.
10 out of 10s.
10 out of 10s. And we've talked about 10 out of 10s a lot. But lately, when you start seeing these reviewing sites and IGN and all these people doing like reviews for games, JRPGs and whatnot, and they come at us with like a 7 out of 10 type of game.
Sure.
And automatically everyone's like, well, this is mid. This is terrible. What are we like? Why waste your time?
Write it
why waste
off.
your time on a
Write
7
it
out of
off.
10?
Yep.
Not worth experiencing is what
Nope.
the automatic response is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? That's like that in itself just grinds my gears just a little bit because there is so much you can get out of a 7 out of 10 game. And it's like, honestly, there's not much of a difference when you're thinking about it from like three points away from being a 10 out of 10. Come on, guys.
But also, right. And then there's just this one reviewer who said it was a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What would you rate it as? Maybe it would be different. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Variation, confidence
Exactly.
intervals, all that.
So I think today we wanted to really kind of start talking about these games that are so-called mid. We'll pick out some games that we think, fit that criteria and we'll talk about them, but also frame it around the idea of why do we want to put this kind of stigma, this language of mid on a game when it most of the time doesn't deserve it. I think mid just sounds negative, and it's just it's a negative. It's not even sounds negative. It's a negative connotation towards a game. And for a game to be a 7 out of 10, I think shouldn't be, I guess, focused in a negative perspective.
Mid is a way to speak dismissively about a game or anything. Like mid is used, in a lot of different contexts these days.
Yeah,
it's a way to say this isn't worth even me thinking about. A terrible game, I might have fun making fun of a terrible game. A great game, I might love playing and raving about how great it is. But a mid game, why would I waste my time even thinking about it? And it's the same sort of, I've had people in comments say things like, I'm not going to play a 7 out of 10 game because my limited time, I just want to focus on the games that are 9s or 10s,
The blockbusters.
right? The blockbuster games, right? And to me, that's the equivalent of saying, I'm only going to watch Marvel movies because I know that audiences love Marvel movies. And there's so many other movies out there, but, they don't get as much acclaim. So why would I waste my time? I only have limited time. I'm just going to watch the movies that are, considered the best. That maybe Marvel's starting to be less of a good example of this.
I was thinking Oscar worthy, the Oscar winners or something,
Yeah,
Those are the so-called 10 out of 10s.
Those are
maybe not Marvel.
the ones.
If you want to talk about mid movies,
Well, I'm talking about from the audience esteem.
I know.
Right?
I'm done.
Because a lot of people will focus on Steam reviews and a game has mixed Steam reviews, therefore it's bad, which is actually counterintuitive on its face, because if it's got mixed reviews,
right,
it doesn't mean it's bad. That's actually quite different from that.
Means maybe half the people thought it was great and half the people didn't like it. That means which half are you? It's hard to say.
I think it does fall around that 70% ranking, right? So that 7 out of 10 again is where something becomes mixed instead of generally unfavorable or whatever.
Agreed.
To me, there are so many. There's so much variety of experience that you can have in different games that if you only play these games that are considered by the community at large or by critics at large to be the 10 out of 10 games, you're missing out on a lot of these cool experiences, these creators that are taking a big swing, and maybe they don't fully smash it, right? Maybe there's too many problems with the game for it to be considered a 10 out of 10. But they're doing things that are unique and creative in ways that these safer 10 out of 10 experiences aren't doing. And if you choose to just focus on the 10 out of 10 games, hey, that's fine. You can do that. But if you are open to a variety of experiences, you have to start looking at some of these other lesser beloved, with a smaller enthusiast base sorts of games.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I feel like a lot of people, they seek out the hidden gems. I feel like most hidden gems are ranked at like a 7 out of 10.
Hidden gems
but
are
the thing
7
is,
out of 10.
They don't mention it's mid. They don't mention 7 out of 10. It's just a hidden gem. And that makes it more appealing that people want to pursue.
The history of gaming YouTube is founded upon the hidden gems, guys.
The hidden gem.
Honestly, the mid games.
Yeah, you're 100% right. A hidden gem is a 7 out of 10 game.
Almost
without exception. Almost without exception. Go back and watch every YouTube video from every YouTuber talking about hidden gems. I almost
compare
guarantee.
Compare the Metacritic score. You guys, that's what it is. It's a 7 out of 10 game.
Between 7 and 8.
But when you package it that way, that makes people more interested, right?
Mm-hmm. And I think,
but when you assign a number score to it, they just write it off.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing about hindsight is 2020 because at the time people were throwing things. At the time we didn't use mid, but there were all sorts of language around about games.
Mediocre
this is terrible.
or
exactly
boring or slow or whatever. Yeah.
And then years down the line, everyone's just like, wait, maybe that was actually really good.
It was actually good. Why did we ignore that? Because people said it was bad? Why?
Maybe we should title this video like "Hidden Gems" if we want to get the clicks, because
honestly,
apparently,
probably
that's what. So if you're seeing this and it's called "Hidden Gems," understand we were going to call this mid games, but maybe we'll take a different approach.
Maybe we'll switch it up
because that's what it is. That's just what
it literally is what it
Your
is.
Your best JRPG hidden gems.
Yeah. So anyway, we have some examples. There are some. Yeah, that's me. So we do have some
that's
examples.
What your branding's all about. Those hidden mid games.
Yeah.
Initially, that was what my channel was going to be, and then now I do other stuff because whatever, who cares? So we have some examples of games.
Yeah, we do.
So I'll kick it off if you guys don't mind.
Yeah,
please.
Go ahead.
One of my favorite recent mid 7 out of 10 hidden gems is a game called The Longest 5 Minutes. Mm-hmm. I've talked about this on my own YouTube channel pretty extensively. It's a few different videos I've kind of raved about it. It's such a unique premise, a kind of a unique presentation and plot. Essentially, the game begins with your party of heroes at the last battle. You're engaged in the final battle against the evil demon king or whatever. And his first attack renders you, the hero, with amnesia. So you can't remember any of the events that transpired along the quest to reach this point. And unfortunately, you need those memories to be able to perform whatever attacks you need to do to be able to defeat him. So the game kind of flashes back and forth between this 5-minute long battle with the Demon King and the events of the journey leading up to it. And the game is told, the story's told, out of chronological order. So you'll see a scene from the middle of the quest, and then you'll see a scene from the beginning, and then a scene from the end, and it's just kind of all over the place as you're piecing your memories together, getting to know the characters, and aesthetically, it's got this sort of 16-bit aesthetic going on, and it's beautiful and moving. Honestly, the storyline actually it tugs on the heart. It's got really music that really bats, really, I guess I would say maybe punches over its weight class. I don't know sports, guys. I apologize for my mangling of sports metaphors, but it bats above its weight class. We'll say that. It's very good. To me, the music feels like the composer got a really cool new synthesizer and just wanted to have fun with it. And that's the sort of joy that I feel from the music in this game. I bought I went on Steam and I bought the soundtrack to the game. It's like, I need to have this. I need to be able to listen to this in my car.
That's dedicated right there.
Yeah. There's only a handful of games I've done that.
Yeah.
There's only a handful of games I've done that for. So, it's cool. And generally, I think people dismiss it. They look at it, they look at the simple aesthetic, and they say, I don't have time for that. It doesn't seem great. Yeah. Or they do the thing that I did for a long time, which was mix this game up, the longest 5 minutes, with a game called Half Minute Hero, which is a completely different, is a completely different game. I learned, which is why I played this. Because I had no interest in Half Minute Hero. That's more of a fun little like mini game thing where it's role playing adjacent, but you do these little super quick things, and it's cute, but it's not really my thing. But this is full on JRPG experience, and people criticize the graphical presentation, and they criticize the difficulty. It's super easy, guys. You could sit down. You're not gonna die. You don't have to grind, because every time you go back to a flashback, your character's levels and equipment and items are set to what they were at that point in their adventure. So you're not having to go around and grind. So battles will be pretty simple. I don't remember ever struggling, even with like a boss. But to me, that's okay. That's not really what this game was about. It was about the narrative. It was about the uniqueness of the setup. So I don't know, this is an example of one that's absolutely is not going to be everybody's cup of tea, and that's another hallmark of a 7 out of 10 game. Is it's not casting the widest net. It's not the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or whatever that's trying to bring in 1 billion people. It's a small focused project with a small targeted audience that is going to like that sort of thing, and it nails that. It just nails it. So if you find those sorts of smaller, kind of offbeat experiences cool, like just check this one out. You can get it digitally. You can still, I'm sure you can still find this somewhere physically on the Switch.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. It hasn't shut up that much because it's still undiscovered. Yeah. But say it's undiscovered hidden gem.
It's a hidden gem. It's a hidden gem, guys.
Gem.
So I think it's great, and I hope that you will try it.
Yeah, I think
I do need
it's
to play
always
as well.
fun to have a different sort of approach to the storytelling as well as the combat. You know, like you don't usually see that sort of premise presented, and it sounds like it's a nice kind of short experience, which is perfect for people who just want. You know, there's so many complaints about games being too long because they have no time for them. Well, hey, this is a nice, short, sweet experience for you to try.
Yep.
Exactly.
I literally think I beat it in a day. I mean, it was a long day. I started in the morning and finished it that night, which is also says something about the game, I think, because I usually can't play a game for more than 2 hours. When you guys when you guys stream and you guys are streaming for hours, I'm like, I don't know how you do it. I can't play a game for more than 2, or I'm dead. I'm just asleep.
The chat kind of encourages you to keep playing, so then you just keep playing.
That's true.
But the fact that I willingly just went for it, just didn't stop. I mean, I was into it. So
that goes to show.
The reason why you kept the physical too. Like it's not hasn't been purged.
So
that's right.
It's something.
You wouldn't be marathoning a game all day if it was mid.
I mean, that's the thing,
well,
right?
It's mid. That's the reason.
People consider it mid. The reviews would call it mid, but I to me, it's a hidden gem.
Exactly.
It's a hidden gem that I discovered.
One person's mid is another person's hidden gem.
You know what? I think we should turn mid into an acronym. That doesn't mean mid.
Okay.
I don't know. You guys are better with words.
Okay, so a mid game is a game that is my iridescent discovery.
Discovery.
My iridescent discovery.
That sounds like a hidden gem to me.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. My iridescent discovery.
My iridescent discovery. So
it rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
It really does.
So the title of this video is turning into now the top 10
iridescent discoveries.
Iridescent discoveries.
Nobody's clicking on that video, you guys.
No, guys, it's terrible.
Who knows what that means?
Iridescent. Who do these people think they are?
Well, they'll see you and they'll be like, "Oh, that's Brandon right there."
Oh, that's him.
Got gems in his name. That's why.
That's him.
It's the most Brandon.
We expect that from that guy. Yeah. Anyway, who's got another game? You guys have another game?
I can jump in if you want.
Go on.
Go for it.
Yeah. All right. So my pick for a quote unquote mid game is Star Ocean, The Divine Force. This game, when it came out, I think it just kind of came out.
Yeah,
it came out.
Super came out. Super came out, man.
It super came out, and then nobody really talked about it for like it had like a moment where people were like, "Oh yeah, this game came out," and then that's it. Like it's
kind of sad, because Star Ocean is such a beloved franchise.
It's like Star Ocean is a weird.
Yeah, I don't know, but like modern Star Ocean, they kind of
modern Star Ocean is I don't know, people don't like it.
Star Ocean's been in a weird place.
I feel like people just think it's all gone downhill, right?
Yeah.
Right. They're not even willing to consider that it might be good.
Well, because this thing right here really set the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
There's
integrity and faithlessness.
You just have the one bad off.
Right.
Because I think it was
Final
leading
Fantasy's
into that.
done this.
Because
there's
3 has 3 people like 3 now more than they did before, but still I think 3 is still there's like you either love it or you hate it. Like there's no
it's got, I would say that Star Ocean as a series has a much more checkered path than Final Fantasy. Yeah, Final Fantasy will have a couple of duds, but they have way more wins than they do. But Star Ocean, it's struggled a lot. It's struggled a lot ever since the second game, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
I do enjoy the Star Ocean games, and I do admit that some of them are rough as well. A struggle.
Integrity and faithlessness. I think you discovered that firsthand. That it's a little hard to play.
Replaying it, it's
I keep telling myself like, okay, I'm going to play some more, and then I'm like, maybe I'll do something else.
Maybe I'll do anything else. Yeah.
So I'll see if I'd be able to finish this game, but to get to the point in hand, the Divine Force. Yeah. So with the Divine Force, it's a callback to the second game. You start this game and you have a choice of 2 protagonists. You have Raymond, which is like the most meathead looking character design of all.
Yeah, the Divine Force, more like the divinely bad haircut. Am I right?
I know.
Look at that hair.
That haircut is like that's the first thing. Like when I first saw this game like announced and I saw the look of the main character, Raymond, I was like, come on guys, like
literally same. I was like,
not that bad though. It's just the 3D renderings of it.
The rendering did not turn out.
It looks so bad.
Yeah.
Like that off the bat, like probably threw people away from being like, I don't know.
Left a bad taste in my mouth, I'll say for sure. Yeah.
Exactly. So you got Raymond, and then you have Letitia. And she's like, she's like your more fantasy elf looking type character. She looks like what you'd expect from a game like this. Nothing too bad from that perspective. But basically the story, the premise of the story is that you have Raymond, he's out in space doing his thing. He's doing space stuff, and they get attacked by this unknown entity or unknown situation is happening. And then he gets crash lands onto the planet where Letitia lives. And her planet is, a little old school, medieval style. And so he's crash landed. He doesn't have anything. He doesn't have anything to basically communicate with his family or anybody outside of the planet. And so he's trying to figure out how he gets off of here. And then he gets pulled into Letitia's, like the planet's political and shady dealings that are happening on the planet itself. And so as you go through the story, you kind of like, realize what's there's an interesting aspect to, there's some technology on this planet that no one really knows about, or some people know about. So it's a little interesting. It's kind of like every Star Ocean game that you'd expect to play. Like there's some sort of technology within the medievalness of this world that slowly starts to show its head towards the end.
Yeah.
Altogether, I think it really does harken back to 2. It's them coming back full circle, trying to make a game that is like a spiritual successor or something, just a spiritual like version of that game for modern era, which is fun. It's a great game. It's got a lot of fun gameplay. The battle system is fast paced and a ton of fun because you have this flying mechanic. I forgot the name of the little electronic being or like a little AI bot, whatever it is that like you can hold on to, and then it like just zoops you around. So you can just like fly around this world, and that is like honestly the most fun. And then like you can use that in battles. It's like a rocket, like you're just like
a little rocket.
It's like you're the Rocketeer from the movie The Rocketeer. Call back to anybody who remembers that movie.
I do.
From back in the day. So you can use it in the open world, so you can run around and explore the world while floating and flying around. But you can also use it in battles, so you can use it to kind of like dash into an enemy or get away and whatnot. It's just a lot of fun, and it didn't, like, with all of the I guess bad rep that Star Ocean just got from so many years of okay games and maybe some bad games, people just threw this to the wayside and didn't care. So I think it deserves a spot in the hidden gem list.
Our mid-tier hidden gems.
Our iridescent discoveries.
Also knows that.
Yes.
Also, but I do think, especially that Star Ocean game, like it kind of Square Enix sent it off without like much of a chance because it was just amidst all those releases at that same time, and people were just overwhelmed from like, I have no time to play this.
It came out like at the same time as there was like a bunch of random stuff.
There was like a ton, like back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
If it had come out in a better time, or if reviewers had been more enthusiastic about it, if they had better marketing, maybe it would have fared better. Hard to say. Reviewers, you got to remember, are just people like anybody, and they are as likely to succumb to
bias,
the bias of the pre-bias, right? Of like, oh, I have heard all these negative things or kind of mid-tier things about the Star Ocean series. I'm going to go into it expecting to find that. And so I'm much more likely to find that because that's what I'm going in expecting to see. So, if you're able to go in open-minded to a lot of these games that we're going to talk about, I think you are much more likely to have a good experience with it. And Star Ocean as a series has, unfortunately, I think just like ever since the second game,
I do think
got a lot of bad press.
Revived it with Second Story R remake. So maybe depending what they do with their next move, maybe it'll pick back up, but we'll see.
But even the Second Story R, like it came and went. Like it was really like it was very popular.
Got a lot of buzz at the beginning.
Yeah. In the beginning when it first came out, and then now like not many people talk about it as much.
Well, I think a lot of that is just the nature of games now.
There's so much coming out.
No game other than the biggest of the big is going to have much more than a couple of weeks in any kind of spotlight.
That's true. That is true.
It's up to people like us that won't shut up about stuff we like to try to get the word out after those 2 weeks are over.
Exactly. And I can't shut up. I just can't.
I've tried. I can't do it.
I don't know.
Yeah. I bought mouth tape, you guys. I actually bought actual mouth tape. You like put it over your mouth when you sleep? Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't matter. I keep talking.
Keep talking. Keep yapping.
Keep yapping.
Will not stop. Can't stop, won't stop.
That's right.
Mouth tape.
Mouth tape.
Mouth tape. This episode is brought to you by Mouth Tape.
Seriously, if you guys want to sponsor us, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Hit us up.
Brandon will like some more.
Yeah.
Send me
we get Brandon all the mouth tape. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Please do.
Emily, let's get you underrated.
All right. So I have a few I've been thinking about. Some of them are kind of licensed games. So let's get to a licensed game first, which is One Piece Odyssey. And so when this first hit the scene, there was a lot of negative feedback because, oh no, it's an anime game. It has One Piece characters. Do we have to know anything about One Piece in order to enjoy this game? Is this going to be just basically fan service and not much of an experience outside of that? Is the combat like mediocre because they just, the whole budget just went to licensing? But as a One Piece fan, I will say this was this like surpassed my expectations because of just how fun it was. So it is enhanced, like, if you are a One Piece fan, for sure. Like that's like obvious probably. But I do think they did a good job at like introducing you to the characters and maybe getting you excited if you wanted to dive more into One Piece media to try it out. But the combat surprised me because it utilized a turn-based system I hadn't seen before, because there was kind of like a group mechanic where you have a party of different One Piece characters, and you could switch back and forth between them and attack different clusters of enemies that might be surrounding one character or another. And I thought it was kind of cool how they kind of made that very fluid, and the UI was great. I think when it first came out, they came out with a demo, and the demo sometimes breaks a game, right? Yeah. Like there's a lot of demos that like, be like, oh, I tried the demo, it sucked, so I don't want to buy the game. Yeah. And that's kind of like the mark that sticks with it. The demo for One Piece Odyssey, if I recall correctly, is they give you like all the powers up front and then they take them away. And so people are just feels like, the wind, their sails just leaves them when that happens.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Like a Metroidvania, like a Metroid game.
Is that how Metroid games go? Because I've not played.
Usually,
where they have all the powers,
like
and then they
every
leave?
new Metroid game, they have to contrive some reason for Samus to lose all of the powers.
Lose all her powers. Yeah, exactly.
Well, there you go. That's what happened. And then you had to go take back memories too. That's how you learn your stuff in One Piece Odyssey. And so I could see why some people were like, I don't want to deal with this if they are interested in this way, and the combat's a little too easy. Yeah. There was some criticism on that as well. And then I think a lot of people didn't make it to the end. And so the combat definitely substantially, there's a difficulty spike at the end.
Spike.
There's like, I think, honest criticism for the game, where if they were to, remake this, it would be really cool. But I just liked how Oda, who creates One Piece, was part of the story. He made this be its own sort of story, but also weaving it in a really cool way the characters and events that happen in the canon story. But it's a little bit shifted because they're going back into the memories not the same way. So I thought that was a very smart way to kind of introduce the license in like a refresh way, where it's familiar but different. But yeah, I love my time with One Piece Odyssey, and I think just a lot of people kind of wrote it off because it's one, an anime license game, and then two, thinking it's just too easy. Why would I play this when they make it like a baby's game? But it's not a baby's game.
Yeah,
I don't think.
The thing that's most interesting, I haven't played it, but the thing that I've found most interesting from hearing you talk about it, and hearing other people talk about it, and just seeing the game, is that, for one thing, I don't know of that many licensed RPGs that are turn-based. I feel like the safe bet that everybody does is like an action adventure game, or a Muso, or maybe an action RPG, maybe.
Or a fighter.
Or fighter, of course. Yeah, like fighters are big for these sorts of things. But the fact that they did a full-on turn-based RPG for One Piece is actually really cool. I don't know. It's unique.
Yeah. I'm like trying to think of like the last what
was Fairy Tail from Koei Tecmo? Was that also fighting? Or action? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I think that was. I'm pretty sure that was turn-based.
That might have been turn-based.
So that might be the one exception. But
but it's still rare. It's just very rare.
It's not.
So that's cool to see.
There aren't that many. That's cool. Yeah.
And also, with a licensed game like Odyssey, One Piece has a very large fan base. So
yes,
I could almost
even
understand
bigger now
why,
since that game came out.
why people that aren't already fans might be like, well, I don't know if I'm going to play it. But at least they have a big kind of established audience to sell to in the first place.
Yeah.
Do you know, Emily, do you know the general vibe from One Piece fans towards the game? Is it positive?
I think they're mostly positive.
Mostly positive,
The only criticism I heard was they wish the difficulty was a little bit higher, but if you get further in the game, it does get more difficult.
Yeah. So that's good that, it may still be a hidden gem from the... Yeah, it's a hidden gem from the broader populace, but at least it has its core audience. But hopefully people will take a chance on it. Like you were saying, maybe this is a way that somebody gets introduced to the fan base. And I mean, I'm not a One Piece fan. I have no horse in this race.
Like,
but I
are there
still think
spoilers? There's some mentions of it, but honestly, if you don't know anything about One Piece and you play it, you're not going to realize it's a spoiler. It's like that type of spoiler. Like they just mentioned something offhand. Like you're not going to realize that's a spoiler.
And I wonder if it's a thing where over time, because like there's going to be more and more fans are starting to come about from the Netflix series.
Yes.
So this could be a lot of people's chances to be like, hey, I really enjoyed the Netflix show. Maybe I should try this. I'm also a JRPG fan.
Yeah.
Why not? I love me some One Piece. I've not played the game. I know it's been on my list. I have it on my shelf. At some point I need to play this. But I'm glad to hear it.
It's good. I honestly, I wish they did a sequel, but I don't. It's probably going to be unlikely because I don't think it did that well.
Because I hear like the story, like you were saying, it's like Oda had his hand in it, but I hear it was like it was like an unused story that he kind of had in his notes that he wasn't sure what to do with. I think I heard about that initially, then that's like he turned
basically
it into.
They land on this island. They get all their powers and their memories stripped away, and they have to go explore and get them back. I thought it was really cool premise.
Sounds like a season of One Piece, which yeah, sounds perfect.
And also Odyssey. There's no better time than now when Christopher Nolan's Odyssey is taking IMAX theaters by storm. See the One Piece Odyssey crossover of the century.
See, you know what I would see? I would see this if we had blockbusters now. This game would be right next to the movie The Odyssey, so that way grandmas would accidentally pick this up.
Whoops. Yep.
Thinking that it's Odyssey and it's
just Homer's Odyssey.
It's what they did with Transformers and Transmorphers.
Back
in the day.
Oh yeah. That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
Troopers and Power Rangers, all that.
Yep. We have Power Rangers at home. It's VR Troopers. Anyway, I have a game for you if you guys are open to it.
Sure, why not?
Not open.
The game.
No mid games here.
All right,
sorry,
we're done.
All right, well, thanks everybody. Appreciate you coming out.
That's it, folks.
The game I would like to talk about next is Eternights. Anybody familiar with Eternights? This is I have it
on my shelf as well.
It's an action RPG that I think takes a lot of inspiration from Persona for a lot of the kind of social aspects of the gameplay, but it's a full-on action RPG. There's no turn-based combat. And it's essentially about the end of the world, an apocalyptic situation where some health drug sort of thing ends up inadvertently or maybe advertently, I don't know, causing people to mutate into... It's kind of like a zombie apocalypse, but the people turn into more grotesque things than just dead people. Yeah. So you have you and your team of people that you gather together as you go along are traveling by train to get to this central location where hopefully you can put a stop to it. It also, the story takes kind of that basic apocalyptic premise and mixes in some very weird, almost like H.P. Lovecraft elder god stuff in the background. It's very strange. And one of the things that I like about it, and I understand why this might be frustrating to some people, but one of the things that I like about it is that it does not go out of its way to explain that big elder god stuff. It's just kind of a reality of what's happening. And it's unknowable to us because it's not like it's supposed to be bigger than we can comprehend. It's supposed to be outside of our world, right? So I really appreciate that sort of storytelling when the creator doesn't feel like they have to give you all of the nitty-gritty details. It's like, let there be some mystery, you know? Yeah. Eternights does a really good job of creating an interesting mystery and kind of letting you exist in it and just be. And I think that's very cool. On top of that, the combat is one of my favorite, if not possibly my favorite. I'd like to replay it and see if it still holds up. That holds that title in my heart. But for a long time, I've considered it to be my favorite action RPG combat system. It's one that I will say that when I first started playing it to review it, I hated it. I was dying to like the first enemy. I kept dying. I could not wrap my head around it. And I was thinking, okay, can I lower the difficulty or something? Maybe I don't. I got to get through this game. I'm supposed to review it. I can't even beat a battle.
No.
The first battle.
The first battle, or very early on. And what I learned is the rhythm of this game is a little bit different than most action RPGs. I think I had just played Nier Automata before I played this, and it's very different in terms of the rhythm of the combat. Once that clicks with you, suddenly it becomes just extraordinarily fun to play.
Yeah.
It feels so satisfying and weighty, and everything about the combat is just fantastic. You get your partners your friends that can join you, and you don't play as them, but you can like issue commands and they'll do special attacks and things like that. There's a lot of layers to it. The crazy thing about this game is that it was essentially made by one person, with some outsourcing for certain things, but by and large made by a single person. And it looks incredible. It plays incredible. It did not perform all that well, at least in terms of, especially in terms of reviews. I have no idea about the sales.
The physical copy, you could see it really cheap.
You can find it for $10.
I think I picked it up for $10.
Yeah. It's,
or less.
I mean, to be fair, I think it was like a $30 or $40 game brand new when it came out, but still, it's heavily discounted pretty early on because I think it was clear it wasn't selling, which is crazy to me. The response that it got from a lot of critics, I'm just like, did we play a different game? Are we like, normally, when I play a game, even if I like the game that other people are criticizing, I can see where they're coming from and be like, okay, I understand why you feel that way. I feel differently, but que sera. Yeah. But in this case, I'm like, I don't even understand the problem here. I just don't get it. So yeah, I highly recommend. It's not the longest game either. Eternights, I think maybe 10 hours, 12 hours. You can get through this bad boy pretty quick. And there's different endings, of course, depending on which character you're like pursuing romantically. And one of the interesting things is I'm pretty sure, the ending, depending on which ending you get, they give you like a QR code or something. You scan with your phone and you get the ending on your phone because it's like you're getting contacted by the person. So it was like an interesting little,
that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Kind of fourth wall breaking quirk at the end.
I wonder what happens if that ever goes away.
If that goes away, if the sites go down, you're just out of luck.
You just don't know the ending.
You're never going to know. But yeah, such a cool game, such a weird reaction. I
didn't know that.
In my mind from the critical community. And I think the critical community's weird reaction put most people off of trying it. Like I say, if you're anything like me, and maybe you are, if you sit down with that combat, you might be ready to quit after 5 minutes because you're like, I don't get this. It's not making sense to me. If you try, if you practice, within a half hour, I would say, of practicing the combat, I think it will click. I think but it does require a little bit more of you than I think most modern like AAA games expect of you in terms of like skill. It's developing the skill. And it really, like I said, within a half hour or so, it was clicking with me. And that doesn't mean the combat was then simple going forward. It was still challenging. But once you get it, it no longer feels impossible. So Eternights.
Yeah, I remember when that like first released, and I remember the discourse online was very like polarizing.
Mostly negative. Yeah.
Mostly negative. I remember it. And that's what like at the time I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll play it at some point, but I'm not going to be in a rush. But now that I know that it's a hidden gem, I'm glad I have it, but I should maybe play it. It's a mid-gem.
Midden gem. I just tickled myself. It's midden.
I just tickled myself.
Jolly good. Anyway.
Yes. Anyways.
What you got?
I think I've got another one. I've got another one for you guys. I want to talk about mana.
Okay.
I want to talk about mana. Let's talk about mana. See, mana as a whole, I think, is a pretty popular series. I wouldn't call it a mid-series. But the game I want to talk about today, and I'm not talking about Visions of Mana this time. I know we've talked about it a few times beforehand, but this is technically maybe a prequel to it. But I want to talk about Legends of Mana, guys. PS1, Legends of Mana, and then there's also the remaster for the PS4 and Switch. But this game honestly does not, like, when people talk about Mana, they never bring up Legend of Mana, ever. And I just don't get it. Like, I know that, like, a lot of people didn't like the way the storytelling was, like, how it was done.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of a stiffness to the combat, but I feel like that's just like a Mana thing. I feel like it's always been a little stiffer.
I just played A Link to the Past. I felt like that combo is stiff.
That's just like the old school style.
That's just old school. Yeah.
1632-bit action.
Yeah. We all can't be Terranigma and like be flying around the screen.
Terranigma was a very end of life Super Nintendo game too. So
exactly. But with Legend of Mana, so with the premise behind Legend of Mana is that 900 years prior to the game starting, the mana tree has burnt down. And you're a silent protagonist. You can pick your character, your gender, and whatever you want, and you're like your whatever you want to fight with. So you get the choice of all different types of weapons in the beginning, and then you can also switch that up as you play the game. But you're tasked with the job of taking these artifacts and creating the world again. And so you get this giant map when you first start the game. And I remember this, like, when the first time I played this, I was like blown away. I was like, oh, this is cool. Because you get to, like, you get your first artifact and you place like the home world in there, and then you create like its little like town. And then from there, you're visiting each of these towns and you're following these specific like side quests. And there's like the way the story's done, it's very non-linear. So you can take different quest I guess directions as you want to take, and there's like different arcs within the game that all kind of ultimately lead to the ending. But you can play the game differently every time you play it. So no one playthrough is the same usually. And the nice thing about it is that you have a lot of really amazing characters. So yes, the main character is silent protagonist, and I do not like silent protagonists that much, but he's just kind of more of a catalyst for the world itself. Like, you're going in there and you're supporting these like very vibrant characters in this storybook fashion, because the game looks like a storybook. And these stories are so whimsy, like it's filled with whimsy. The game is all whimsical. It's great. I love it. And what helps is that you have Yoko Shimomura, who is just doing the best work on this soundtrack. It is an incredible soundtrack for those. But yeah, I think it's like between the non-linear like storytelling that people, I don't know, doesn't always work for everybody. And just I think the timing, I don't know, something about that game just never stuck with a lot of people. And a lot of people, when I talk to a lot of people about Mana, they, it's always Secret of Mana, maybe Trials of Mana, but it's never Legend of Mana. And I feel like it needs the love. Guys, go support it. It's a great game. And
which platform would you recommend playing it on? Because I know that was it Legend of Mana, like the collection was not that highly regarded, at least on the Switch. I don't know about the PS4.
So that one, the collection,
that one doesn't have Legend
prior to Legend.
Okay, that doesn't have Legend.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So
they omitted it for a reason, right?
They have the
They
remastered
omitted it because
version.
they remastered it separately.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a separate
All right.
remaster.
So I do recommend the
probably
remaster.
That. Yeah.
Okay,
Like,
you do.
The remaster is gorgeous. They did like, it's one of those games that I think still had the assets. Like, they must have still had all the assets to everything, because they were able to make everything widescreen, and the backgrounds are all very high quality, like 4K or as close to 4K as you can get.
That's something worth highlighting. And you mentioned it, looking like a storybook, but there was a time, you guys, when it seemed like we might just get like beautiful watercolor video games. We had this game, we had Saga Frontier 2, just beautiful art before everything was HD 2D. Everything exactly the same. Man, we were also optimistic and young then. We thought everything was going to be great. We were going to have these beautiful games, but it's beautiful. It's like nobody does games like this anymore, except maybe in the indie scene sometimes. But this was Square. This is Square Enix, man, was putting out this beautiful watercolor work of art, and it fell by the wayside, unfortunately.
I really wish they would bring that back, just the watercolor or just like the artistic styling, like stylized.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be watercolor. I love it when they do, and I feel like Visions of Mana did a good job of representing the style of the Mana series in like a higher res 3D sort of thing. Yeah. It definitely wasn't watercolor, but it was very colorful and vibrant.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's this aversion to making, color, but also to highly stylized. Like, it seems to me that a highly stylized game is almost considered niche. It's not going to, it's not safe, it's not as safe. I don't know if that was the case back then, because we were coming off of 2D games, so everything was sprites or pixel graphics, and this was a step above that. It was hand painted, beautiful artwork. I don't know. I wish that more games took that sort of direction. It's really
I feel like at the time, like in the PS1 era, like that was what they knew, because they were already working with pre-rendered backgrounds for 7, 8, and 9. Yeah. So like they were already making art to coincide with their games. And as we started to see like 3D era of like PS2 and then PS3 and PS4, 5, whatever it is, you start to, especially nowadays, it's all like they're all using, UE5 or UE4, UE6, whatever it is. And it's like a lot of the out of the box, like
pre-rendered assets. Yeah.
And so like there's less like meticulously like artistic design, because then you'd have to hire and like pay a lot of really amazing artists to make more and more assets for these games. And a lot of these, they're playing it safe.
They don't want to allocate budget towards that necessarily, sadly.
So that's a possibility. That's where
could be.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But anyways,
Legend of Mana.
Emily.
So I'm debating, I don't know how many more we're going to go through today, but debating on which one to mention, because I guess I will just go towards Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. Will be my next call out. Another Bandai Namco game, but they make a lot of great 7 out of 10 games. I'm not going to lie. Mm-hmm. Also some other ones on other spectrums, but I think like a lot of the publishers, I think Bandai Namco's kind of hits that sweet spot well in a lot of their franchises. But the reason why I wanted to call out Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory, well, we'll just add them together. I played the complete collection that was on the Switch, so it included both. But I thought that did a great marriage of really emphasizing story and giving Digimon more of a personality. Like that's with the Digimon story games. We saw this, of course, with Time Stranger, like even more so. But the Cyber Sleuth games, I think, is when we started seeing like a lot of personality in these Digimon games, where they're their own characters and very unique, and how they play off of the protagonist and all the different sides, like side quests or the main storylines. And it was very refreshing to see in a monster kind of, taming game. And the gameplay loop, of course, with all the Digimon story games, very addicting, trying to, level up your mons and make them great. The thing I think a lot of people did not like in the Cyber Sleuth games was how when you go to the digital world, it's just like a blue corridor. And there's not that much, personality and pizzazz. But despite that kind of framework of a very kind of lackluster dungeon, it's still a lot of fun. The gameplay loop, the stories, the personalities, everything, how they kind of played off of Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory, where you kind of, switch the script a little bit.
Yeah.
over there.
From what I understand, it's similar to like the Golden Sun games where they're kind of two sides of the same story.
Two sides.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Kind of. But I think it's probably going to continue to be overlooked because of how great Time Stranger is. But I think if you want more of Digimon, and just go play the Cyber Sleuth games.
I wish that I had known back when they came out that they were more story focused. I didn't know until I talked to you guys in the lead up to Time Stranger, and you guys were like, "Oh no, the Digimon Stories games are like they're good, like the story,
it
like
has
they have
story
good
in
stories."
the title.
Like, yeah, I mean,
stories.
I'm not going to buy that from them, but from people that have played them, sure. You tell me a game has a story, sure. Pokemon has a story, but like,
exactly.
I would have been,
It's
I would have been into
the title, Brandon.
but they could put anything in the title. They could call it Digimon Story.
I understand.
Tax prep,
Tax prep.
I'm looking forward to that game.
Accountant.
I'm not gonna take it to my accountant and. But no, hearing that it was, I was like, okay,
Agumon
like
with his like little like tie, and he's
got a tie.
Gabumon, and they're not detectives. They're not trying to seek out mysteries. They just want to do an audit.
They're just CPAs. They're just trying to do their jobs. Let them go home to their families. But and then playing Time Stranger and be like, this is actually. Was actually good.
Kind of fantastic.
Cool. Yeah. So I picked up the. I had already had the original Cyber Sleuth games on PS4, but I grabbed them super cheap on Steam as well, just to eventually, hopefully, one day give them a whirl. But it's
when you're craving more Digimon, just go there.
Yeah,
I don't know when the next Digimon story game will be out. I'm sure it'll be a while.
It'll be
doing DLC for a while yet, but. But like just my encouragement to people that maybe if you are looking at it like me and you're much more interested in story and maybe you have never really gotten into Pokemon because the stories are they're not the focus.
They're not really there.
They're they're cute, but they're not really the driving force. I would say the Digimon story games are definitely much more up your alley if that describes you. So worth considering.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we do another lightning round of
we could do another quick round. We got a few minutes. I want to throw out Reynatis, which is another one that came out a couple of years ago, and I think just immediately got dumped on by most of the reviewing community. This one, I do feel like I can kind of understand where some of the negative feedback came from.
Yeah.
To me, the issues that people brought up didn't matter, or I hate to say it, but some kind of like a skill issue, some of it. Because again, and I suck at video games. I'm not bragging. Like I'm no good. I'm terrible. But like I figured it out. It's similar to Eternights where the action RPG combat asks you to do something very different than you are used to doing. You are, you're used to dodging out of the way or blocking right as an enemy attacks you. Reynatis is basically saying, no, let them hit you, and then you're reacting and you're turning it around. So you basically,
so interesting. Yeah.
In any other game, your timing, you would be too late. But the game, that's what the game is built around, is fighting that way. And once you get that through your head and you train yourself to do that, the combat actually becomes really fun. And, the story, it's from Kazushige Nojima of Final Fantasy VII fame. I love that dude. I love his writing. And it's a really interesting story about basically modern day wizards that live in just like modern Tokyo. And there's this whole kind of social issue between regular people and wizards, where wizards are kind of treated as almost second-class citizens, and they're not allowed to use their magic, and it's illegal. There's like a whole branch of the police force that is designed to basically keep them in line because they're seen as dangerous, even though most wizards that you meet in the game are just like normal people. They don't want to hurt anybody,
Yep.
And it's a really cool, interesting, complex narrative told from a couple of different perspectives. One, you play as a kind of a wizard out in the world, and you also play from the perspective of a leader in that police force that's opposed to them. So you're playing these two kind of parallel stories and getting both sides of the conflict, and then eventually everything comes together. But really cool game, and it's a shame that I think the reviews probably tanked it. The thing about these sorts of games, right? These mid games, these 7 out of 10s, is even more so than most bigger games. They only have a brief window where interest is possible. Once Reynatis came out, if the reviews were great, I think it would have probably picked up more of a following, and it would have been more of a success for the company that made it. But because the reviews weren't, it's relegated to the dustbin. It is forgotten. We've moved on because there's no time. There's no time. No. So, yeah, I definitely think it's worth checking out. It's a fun game. It's a cool story, and play it. Give it a shot.
I would say I think this game also suffered from just not the bestly designed demo, where it did leave people not wanting, because I think the demo, it focused so much on the combat where people still didn't understand it, is my guess. And there's no story at all in that demo. And if you play on the Nintendo Switch, it was not
rough.
Pretty. It was not
That was
pretty.
rough. That was my first experience playing it. Yeah, we tried it at Anime Expo.
Anime Expo, yeah.
Yeah, it was at Anime Expo, and I was not impressed. I was like, oh, this is rough.
I remember that. I was like, oh.
Yeah, but it plays much better on other hardware.
It's just sad that, those first impressions, I think, matter. And I think it's definitely those first impressions that leave an impact on reviewers, relegating how much they want to spend on that game before they review it.
Yes.
Right. How much of their mental focus is going to go to this. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
But hey, maybe in 20 years, people will be like, this is actually a hidden gem. And then it'll do better after it's been
You heard
deceased.
it here. You heard
people
it
will
here.
People will make YouTube videos about it, and
hey, those physical copies, they're going to skyrocket.
They're gonna cost $3,000, because that's going to be that's going to be what games cost in the future.
Yeah,
just so you know,
in the future.
Yeah,
when there's no more games.
When there's no more games
physically.
Yeah.
Dala, what do you got? You got a quick one for us?
I got a quick one. I'm gonna throw out Soul Hackers 2.
Deuce.
I know that there's a lot of hate for this game. I'm not going to beat around the bush with this one. And there's a lot to say about this game, that it suffers from a little bit more monotonous combat system. But the combat system is still similar to what you'd expect from a Shin Megami or Persona
press
style
turn
game.
or press turn adjacent? Okay.
Yeah, it's basically adjacent to that. And the dungeons are very uninspired, randomly, I wouldn't say, I don't think they're even randomly generated. They're just generated.
They feel like Mirage sessions.
It feels like an Atlas. It feels like an Atlas game. People are shocked. It's
exactly.
That's Atlas. That's Atlas.
Atlas.
Persona 5 is the exception, guys.
Exactly.
Persona 5's dungeons are brilliant. Everything else they do, the dungeons are garbage.
They figured all upcoming Atlas games will be Persona 5 level, is my guess.
Yeah.
That's why it took so long for 6 to come out.
Right.
Persona 3 and 4 have just the worst dungeons.
Just random, boring. Yeah. I mean, at least 4 has different themes. 3 is just the Tartarus Tower. But 4 has themes, but still, they're boring. They're boring dungeons. They just are.
Exactly. But with Soul Hackers 2, you do get I really enjoyed the characters. I think the story is actually interesting, and I think the game is just beautifully designed. Honestly, I think the character designs, everything about the characters is written really well. I enjoyed playing this game, and I honestly I feel like it gets a lot of bad rep, and it's something that you could pick up for $10 too. I think nowadays, it's always
I picked it for
on sale.
$7. It's really cheap,
and it's one of those. It comes with some cards too, guys.
Oh, fun!
If you pick up the physical version,
that's another thing that we haven't really highlighted a ton, but a lot of these games that are hidden gems, mid, whatever, especially the ones that are on modern hardware, they're super cheap because they're still relatively new. And you can get them for $10-15 probably.
Exactly.
Just go nuts.
Also, for Soul Hackers 2, I hear Ringo's the coolest for tag.
Ringo's awesome.
She's so cool.
She
looks cool.
That's what I'm saying.
But she looks cool.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is people need to get past it. I know there's a lot of hangups because people were expecting something like Digital Devil Saga or something from that era, because it's a reminiscence of it's supposed to be a continuation of those.
Have I played the first Soul Hackers game though?
I've never played the first Soul Hackers game.
Because that one's kind of like, I haven't played it, but from what I've seen, that's kind of not that interesting. Like when it comes to like visually and how it's presented.
That was a 3DS game, right?
Yeah.
Like it was originally a Saturn game.
Yes. And then they remade it on the 3DS where it's a first person dungeon crawler.
And I think that's what people were something like that. Or like
they wanted a first person dungeon crawler? I don't know.
A lot of like the discourse I see online is that like everyone who is a very big fan of the original series, or even like adjacent to that within Shin Megami Tensei world, like they're just like, this is like a kick to the nads. So they were like, why would you do this to us, Atlas? Like, why?
I think it's just, and people have said this before, I think it's the Persona fans. And no shade, I'm a Persona fan, but I think people that came in and were just Persona fans and are like looking at Atlas's SMT related catalog, those games are pretty different. You know, you can't go into an SMT spinoff, a different SMT spinoff, and think it's going to be like Persona, because they're just probably not going to be very similar, you know?
Exactly. So yeah, honestly, it gets a bad rep, but there's still a lot to love with Soul Hackers 2. So if you guys see it on sale for $10, grab it, check it out. Hack away.
Last one I wanted to talk about briefly. We talked about it a little bit, I think, because it did come out this year. And that is Code Vein 2. I think this got a pretty bad rep for a few different reasons. It got a bad rep from the original Code Vein game, or fans of the first Code Vein game, because it's so different, because they made it open world and more focused on stories and these characters and time travel and stuff. So a lot different from the original game, which was just like vampires, Souls-like game that's linear.
Yeah.
And you also got a bad rep because it's not From Software, so those type of fans like, oh, it's not what I expect from a Souls game. Like,
it's not real From Soft.
It's their version of it. It's more of an RPG. It's more of a JRPG than a From Software game, because of I think the focus on stories. You have a character that accompanies you too. You have a partner, and it's kind of cool to play off of each other. And the bosses are still hard. Like I struggled, but it was still, I think, a lot of fun. And I really love the characters. Like I felt so attached to them. And the whole premise where you have to go fight alongside those heroes, you go back in time to find them, and then you have to go to the present and then slay them because of how they became twisted. Like it tugs at the heartstrings when you have to slay them. This is not a spoiler. This is the premise of the game. But I thought it was really well executed. I really enjoyed it. And the combat was, while it's difficult, it still felt fair, because you can make whatever you want to your build. I felt comfortable with the one sword, but there's all these different weapons. You could apply different temporary effects to your blades and stuff to help reduce being cursed or something, or to poison them. There was a lot of cool elements, and I think a lot of people overlooked it from those two camps. And then there's, of course, the camp where they wanted it to be more fan servicey than it wasn't.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because I just think it's a very cool game. And I hope they make more Code Vein games kind of in that vein, if you will.
In that vein. Look at you.
You're learning from Brandon.
I'm doing all these puns today.
All the wordplay.
Because why not? Dallas also played a bit of this game, though.
Yeah, Dal, you played it.
I did play it. I did some streams on it, and I had a ton of fun.
Is it fun?
It's a lot of fun. Like you said, the boss battles that I did run into were beefy. There were some hard ones, some beefy ones that were. One of them I've yet to beat. I need to go back and finish the game, but yeah, ultimately I think if you enjoy a more narrative focused Souls game with a little bit more anime aesthetic, this is perfect. It's a great game to play.
Metacritic score, I think, is at 70. And I'm like, did you guys play the same game I did? Okay.
Yeah, and you don't really need to play the first game either. It was I never finished the first game.
I haven't tried the first game. I had fun with the second game.
So don't be afraid if you're like, oh, I need to play first one. Like, no, just skip that. Just go straight to Code
like I mentioned, apparently the first game is so different.
Yeah.
So it might be. I want to go back to it and see why it's different, and why fans of the first game didn't necessarily resonate with the second game. Just for
sake. I've only played the first one and I bounced off of it. I got maybe 7-8 hours into it, but I am interested to play 2 after hearing you guys talk about it when you were playing it.
Yeah, so I think you would like it because the character focus of this.
Yeah, yes. I was thinking I would just not care because I kind of fell off of the first one, but it sounds like this second one is different in the ways that I would appreciate. So, well, that's a bunch of good games. I'm going to throw one more out there real quick, just so we have 10 in case we want to frame this as a top 10. Come on,
top 10.
But it's the obvious one from me. It's Harvestella, right? Duh.
Yeah.
The most mid of all mid. Harvestella is brilliant. Is beautiful. Is expertly told story. Beautiful art design. Very. Battles.
The battles, like the combat, I could have done without. The combat, honestly, but
it's
the
combat is
mid.
If there's one aspect of the game that's mid, it's the combat. It's not unplayable. It's just like, it's
serviceable.
Great.
That's how I phrase it.
But everything else about the game more than elevates it in my mind into it's one of my favorite games.
Especially the narrative.
The narrative is so cool. The music,
one of the most incredible soundtracks. Like,
my God, Goshina.
They didn't have to go that hard on it. It didn't have to.
Who asked him to do this? He just did it. He only has 2 settings, off and Harvestella.
Lovin'.
Yeah. He also did the soundtrack to Tales of Legendia, by the way. That would also be a probably pretty good inclusion for a mid-tier JRPGs list, because Legendia is like kind of hardcore one of my favorite Tales of games, and it's the one that I think most people hate the most. It's got so many cool things going for it. One of them being
Legendia,
Goshina.
Really?
Goshina did the soundtrack for Legendia.
For some reason, I thought Zestiria was the most hated one.
Zestiria is up there as far as being hated as well.
Tales of is an interesting series where, like, I feel like it kind of fits as a whole almost. As
there's an argument that you could make that they're all kind of mid. Kind of, there is an argument around that. We're not here to do that, but
Trump still.
But I do love a lot.
Yeah,
of Tales.
We did a Tales of focused episode.
We did,
a while ago.
At the beginning of this year, I'm pretty sure.
Beginning of this year,
we did. Yeah.
So check that out if you're curious about our thoughts on the Tales of series. We like it, but it's never been like it's never blown my mind in a way that so many of these even some of these like legit 7 out of 10 games have blown my mind.
It's more of those Bandai Namco mid-tier.
They're the kings,
but not amazing kind of
mid kings. Yeah,
mid kings.
Yeah. So Harvestella, number 10. There you go.
There's
your 10 hidden gems.
Top 10 hidden gems.
My iridescent discoveries. That almost kind of sounds like a band name too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
My iridescent discovery.
Like that would have been like a 2010,
like a 2010 emo band.
Honestly, yes.
Yeah. I like that.
I can see that.
Anyway, thank you everybody for watching, for listening, for checking out the JRPG Pursuit. We really appreciate you, especially thanks to our members for supporting the show and for making it possible. If you are a pursuer level or higher, stay tuned for the after show. Or if you've already watched it, you little scamps, I see you out there, the people that watch the after show first. I see you.
Are crazy.
You guys are cuckoo. But we appreciate you so much.
If you have a hidden or mid gem, I don't know how to rephrase this anymore.
Midden.
If there's any sort of midden game that you think people should play more, let us know down in the comments. We are appreciators of the middens.
Right there.
Yes. I've discovered so many games that I love through YouTube and through people talking about games that are off the beaten path. So I definitely relish your suggestions.
Exactly.
So, but thank you. Thank you so much. And we will catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
everyone.